Let's see here what I can do. I haven't put anything on my face really since I got sick, so I want to look good. Classic Brianna Wellen look.
Yeah.
Okay. Little
Wonky.
wonk wonk, but you know, it's my birthday. I don't really
No one cares.
effing care. When I hear people talking about like how positive I'm being, it's a little grating because I don't feel like I'm acting any different than I normally would be.
Cheers.
Post pills, alcohol, cheers. I was like, I can't believe you have such a great attitude about this right now. Like, you're making jokes. What else am I supposed to do? Like, sitting around being sad isn't helping any more than like sitting around making jokes about it. But it is kind of weird that people say it to me in a way that makes me seem like some sort of like hero for having a good attitude. I don't feel that way. I feel like I'm just trying to be myself.
You look so beautiful. You always do, but
You
you
look
know.
so beautiful. And I have plenty of terrible attitudes when people aren't around. I mean, it's not all sunshine and roses over here. Before all of this started, life wasn't that different than it is for me now. I had my job at the Chicago Reader. I lived in this exact same apartment, but less doctor's appointments. There was a lump on my neck right over here, and I remember feeling it and thinking, oh, it's probably just like strep throat or something. So in that same week with my family, and I asked them all the same thing, and they were like, no, it's just a muscle spasm. It's definitely not cancer. I remember never feeling like physically unhealthy, and that's why I was sort of like, probably isn't something as bad as cancer, because like I'm still moving around and like I don't feel sick in any way. See, these are my, I like to call them my fun meds, my painkiller and my anti-anxiety that they gave me once I was in the hospital. It's very traumatic being in the hospital. And when I went to the doctor, she said I should get an ultrasound to get it checked out. I was definitely a little emotionally uneasy about like just waiting for test results and things like that. And that kind of started a whole like snowball of medical tests that eventually led up to the diagnosis. See, Mom, when you come visit me, we're always just in the apartment because I'm sick. You don't get to see the neighborhood.
I don't get to see the light.
When I was getting my diagnosis, my mom and dad and my sister Maddie were all there with me. It was the day after Easter. Like, he just walked in and said it like straightforward, which I really appreciated. And I got a red rash all over my body and was just like, okay. And I looked over at my parents first, but they were like looking at me to see my reaction, but I was looking at them to see their reaction. We like pretty much almost immediately just started joking with the doctor. I asked what the deal was with like Make-A-Wish, if I could like do that. And then my dad just kept apologizing for us. He's just like, I'm sorry, this is how our family deals with things. While we're like cracking up about stuff.
Hey, happy early birthday.
Thank you. They live down the street from me, so they've been over a lot, helping me a lot. Like my, second parents.
I think she's taken it all in stride, you know. She's been pretty upbeat about it, you know, as upbeat as you can be about it. She's really just handled it pretty well.
She's had a good sense of humor about everything.
This is the main event. She's been laying around. Yes.
I just hope that throughout it, she really does feel that support, because there's so many people that care and that want her to get better.
May I sit down? Yeah, I just need to sit down. No one really knows how it's affecting me except for me. Everyone thinks I'm gonna be this little decrepit thing. Some people feel bad for me or try to throw me like a pity party. That's what part of what makes me want to be like super positive and like go out drinking and like do all my normal stuff. It's like, it's not that bad. Cheers. Cheers. Hi, Brianna. Nice to meet you. So good. Thank you. All right, Mom, what are you gonna say?
This is to my most fabulous daughter and her courageous, how courageous and wonderful she is.
Can't finish it. Having such a good good time, but it's definitely like, I'm tired. All right, well, but I'm so happy to be out with all my friends, and like, not in my apartment for once. And yeah, it's definitely, it's fun to be celebrating something. You know, you see in movies, like what chemotherapy actually is like. I mean, I was so anxious because I didn't know what to expect. And then I started just feeling awful, which apparently is normal. I mean, you're literally pumping like poison into your body. You're not supposed to feel good. It's been a different experience every time for me, quite honestly, after each treatment. Some weeks have been totally fine. Other weeks I've ended up in the hospital for a week, so. I've become more open about talking to people about stuff, I think, but actually like accepting help or asking for help it just isn't my nature. I'm like the helper. I found like throughout the whole process when I would tell people who were close to me, they would have a much more emotional reaction than like I ever did. You know, I've had a couple like breakdowns, but it was never really because of the diagnosis. It was more like what I was going through at the time.
Well, it's been 2.5 months since I was diagnosed with Hodgkin's lymphoma. Today was the first day that it really hit me, and then I really started getting emotional about it. It's harder because I thought I would be feeling so much better by now, and I'm not. And it's the week of my birthday. I think one of the things that people don't talk about a lot is how much the treatments mentally affect you. Not in the sense of like emotionally or like psychologically, but like your brain just doesn't work as well. And I keep forgetting things. And I don't like the idea of losing it. And I don't like the idea of not being able to be good at my job. I want to be a writer for the rest of my life. And I hope I don't lose any part of that through this treatment, this sick illness.